So, hello everyone, here's Jurali, your favorite Polish medlad. So, in this episode, what we're gonna do? We're gonna do some simple things, like adding life to our player. So, player need life in order to die. So, for this, we're gonna add first in our player motor. We're gonna add a variable that we can change. This will be our total life, int total life, and this will be this amount. Let's make it serializable and make sure that we can access it from public int total life getter, simply getter, only for the moment getter. So get underscore life total life. Yes, so nice. Now we can access total life from every script. So how we do this, but not only in the script, in order to make sure that everyone have a variable. For this, we're gonna need a new state, because we can't add life to physics state. It's not made for that. So we need a player state. But we already have worked with the physics state on our script. So what we're gonna do to make sure that it's working finely, we simply gonna name our new state player state, and here we will have a parent that will be physics state. So everything we done till this day will work finely. And here we will need to add a new thing that is the life points variable, and here it will be an int, an integer, and let's compress it, and let's say it can't go further than 10 bytes, like this. So you can see the bytes here, and when you're changing your value, it has changed. So you know how it's working, compression. So now we have our player state, and we can compile the project like normal. But now that we have this this thing, we need a script that will manage this. But we can't manage it in the player motor, because player motor interact only with other components. It's not a networking tool like maybe player controller. Player controller have some networking tools in it. So in order to receive it correctly, we're gonna create a new script that we will name player controller. Player callback, like this. And player callback, what is this? Player callback is simply a script in which we're gonna do things like callbacks or events that is in relation with the player. So here we can add the bolt library, and we can add the player entity behavior with a player state, like this. We can remove everything that we have here, and we can add, at first we can add our player motor, and of course it's awake in order to get it. Now what we want to do? Now we want to have a function that will be called every time we have change life point. So in order to make sure that it is done correctly, we want in our attached to do a state dot add callback on the life points. So state dot life points. Let's take this this name and let's just simply put it in quotes. And here we need a property callback. What is a property callback? Property callback is simply a function. So it's a void function without any parameters. So let's make a void function without any parameters. Let's call it update player life, like this. So here we have a player life update up there, and let's put it here. So that helps us to make sure that our life points are synchronized. When we change life point, the update player life will be called. But as an entity, when we spawn, we don't have the exact amount that we need to have as a player. So if we are the owner, because only the owner can change state variables, we need to go to the state dot life points equals to the player motor that total life, and this makes everything works. So we first attach our callback, and next, as a owner, we will change the life points to the correct amount. So total life from our player. And now, in order to make sure everything works finally, we need to make an interface in which we will change simply our player life point. So in order to make this, we're gonna add a panel that will fill everything. We can remove the image from it and we can rename it GUI. This corresponds to game user interface. So this is what we need when we want to show interfaces. In here we're gonna add a new panel which will be named health bar, in which we're gonna simply add a script that will begin with UI underscore and here health bar. So what this script will do, it will only manage the health bar of a player. So I will show it to you how it's working. So first let's shift click the left bottom corner here and make this 2050 and 2050 here, and 2020 in the height and the length in the position. So our health bar will need three things. Simple. These things are the live text. So it will be, sorry for this, it will be the amount but in the visual text format, a bar that we will fill, and of course a background that will help us to know the exact let's say it will help us to know the exact fill amount that we can have on our bar. So in order to do this, we're gonna head first to the asset store and we're gonna search for simple UI elements, and we will add it to our project. So I already downloaded it and everything, and this is only a simple thing like this, where you have a simple interface things. So I will just import it to my project. And here we don't want the rows spreadsheet and the scenes of it, and UI elements, we need them. So import it. This is very simple, nice for prototyping and everything. I very like it. Like I said before, let's add this to our project. Let's name this store assets. In the store assets, we have the UI element and everything. So here, let's add images. So in our scene, you have to be positioned with the isometric view, and let's position to Z minus, like this, and of course you can see your image here. So make sure that this image is the wide and the and everything of our health bar, and of course add the text. So the text will be the text. The image will be this image will be our background, because our background needs to be a parent of our fill, because the fill will be shown over our background. So here, and for aesthetics purposes, we're gonna add a circle of maybe 500 pixels. Yeah, it's nice. 500 pixels. So let's take maybe this one. This one is nice. Let's take the same one for the background, so that we see everything correctly. And here, let's just adjust the text like we want to see it. So maybe like this. Adjust the variables in here to make sure everything works finely for you. For the height, of course, center it. Make sure that the text will appear in the center. Make sure that the text is simply the maximum amount that you want to show. So maybe it can be 999, like this. And let's see. The text could be bigger, maybe. So let's put like this. Is it better? Yeah, it's better like this. So let's put this 90. And yeah, nice. So we have our life. Now we want to, so now we have everything done. Not exactly, because here we want to reduce the opacity of our background, of course. And here we want to have a field image type with the possibility of top fill, and of course uncheck clockwise, because we want to fill it like this, so we can see that everything works as we want. So this is nice example for our health bar. And of course we will have colors, a gradient that will help us to know if with the color if we are in a good position or in bad position, of course. So now we have this set. We can go to our script, and here we can just do some simple adds, like adding the library, the UI Unity Engine library, of course. And here what we want our three variables, so background, the bar, and the text, and of course a gradient for the color of our bar and text and everything, you know. So yeah, and here we gonna have a simple function that will be update life, in which we will pass the health points and the total health points. We will calculate f, that will be the percentage of our bar field, so here, and of course the gradient evaluation of our color. So I don't know if you know how gradients works in Unity, but it's very simple. So let's start. So gradient, I have one that is presetted and it's work finely, but here you have the opacity of your health, so of your gradient, and in the down section you have the color. And in order to make sure that everything's work finely, if our health evaluation will be at 0, it will be red, and if the evaluation will be at 1, it will be green, and 0.5, it will be yellow, like this. So this is how works gradients. So it's very simple. So let's assign just simply everything here like I said, and yeah, we have assigned everything like we want. So now when we will update our health bar with this script, it will adapt itself like it wants. But first, before assigning it like shit, we can simply do a good script that will be named GUI_controller. That will be a singleton. A singleton is a script that can be accessed from every script in your game. Our singleton is particular because it will use a particularity of Unity, that is instance of scripts. And our singleton will be composed like this. So we will have a static instance of our GUI controller, in which we will have a static accessor that will be named current, and for to make access to this instance of our GUI, we will just need to check if it's null. If it's null, this means that we have to get the current instance in our scene. So simply GUI controller find object of type GUI controller. It will assign the instance, and every time we will demand the current instance of our GUI to our game, it will result in simply giving it its reference here. So I will show the practical use of it later. But first, now we have to have the instance of our health bar to be assigned. So let's first assign this here. Like this. And of course, now what we want to do is have a function that will show and hide our UI when we don't want it. So when we are starting the game and we are joining the scene, we want to hide it. And when we want to simply spawn the player and show it, we will show it. So very simple function. We just get the game object of our script, and of course set it as false or true depending on what we want. Of course, we want to make sure everything's work finely, so we're gonna head to player controller, and in here we're gonna say just GUI underscore controller dot current, and here we have your scene instance of our GUI, and here we just want to show it because we have spawned the player and we are the controller of it. So it will make it work like this. So now what we want to do is simply just have a function accessor that will help us to set our life every time we have updated it. So simple as that, we just gonna head to player callback, and here we're gonna have a reference to our current GUI to our current GUI, and we will update our life based on the state.life points for our current amount of life point, and of course the total life of our player motor. But we don't want it to be updated on every entity, so we only update it with the entity is controlled by us, so entity has control. So this callback will be called on every player, but only the controller will now update the life in the GUI. So to make sure that everything works, we can simply add something like an update in our player callback here, and it will simply add life or sub life based on if we are or not the entity. No, it will just add or subtract life if we are or not the entity owner, but it will show us problems if we are not. So let's first make sure everything is binded. Everything is binded here, but we didn't add the script on our player, so here the player callback here. Of course everything's assigned automatically, so everything's nice. And of course we can hit B, Control B to build the game, so it will build it simply fast like this. Yes, and let's access our files in the Bolt tutorial thingy, and let's start a server, so like here. And of course, so we're gonna see things happen on our screens. So when we are connected, what will we do? We will spawn, so we have spawned it, and something bad happened, I see, in the console. We're trying to access the state of entity as player state. Oh, I forget. So very important, Bolt entity now in our player prefab will be player state. It's very important, otherwise it cannot be accessed in the player callback. So of course now we have to recompile the game in the Bolt assets like this to be sure that everything is assigned correctly. First phase of our tutorial that I will show, of course. It's important. It's very important that everyone remembers this one. So simple as that. It will start a server here. Yeah. So here like this. So now we are connecting, and we will spawn our player. Our player is spawned like this, and now health is updated. Health is 2015, like the total we had wanted. So now let's add life or subtract life with arrows. Oh, you see, it's updated, but I click on the server. You see, communication is done. So now our player have life and we can change it. So simple as that. Our tutorial is finished for today. Next episode, next 3 episodes, we will see how to make weapons, how to make drop it and get it, and everything. You will see. It will be so awesome. But it will be future episodes. So next episode, yeah, we will gonna see how to make weapons. So thank you for watching. Of course, leave a like, share, and check our other social media. And of course, remember to code every day. Bye.